All right, folks, good afternoon, man. Having a good time today. And if you're not having a good time, your strategic mindset hasn't been bearish like ours has for the past month and a half past month and a half. Really, really excited with stuff that's going on. Is this a bottom? We're going to get to that. But how many of you, let me get a show of hands, how many of you made about $6,000 this week? We closed a one-day bearish trade on FXI. It was a weekly options trade, a bearish trade on China. One day that thing made $2,400. Unlimited risk, folks. Remember, this isn't like, well, how much did you risk? I just told you we risked about $5,000. I'm going to teach you at Top Gun Options that we have SOPs, standard operating procedures, where we don't want to risk in a front month trade more than about 5% of the model portfolio. So really, really happy with our one-day trade. We've been bearish on Raytheon front month, right? We're long-term bullish on the defense sector, and then specifically on Raytheon. Marion, 100% on SDS. James, $500 on SDS. Rick, I did. Awesome, sweet. And then obviously the SDS hedges I put on, but when I was typing up the slide about 20 minutes ago, we're up $1,800. $1,800, folks, on those. I told you to hedge on Tuesday. I said, this is not the all clear. Any one of these idiots in the financial media, don't listen to them. No, trade truths, nothing. We are going lower. We have got to see a bottom. We have got to retest the October lows, which we're at, and we're going lower. So how many of you put SDS, or my SDS, I've had two sets of SDS on previously. The ones that I put on even before, were they the D17 or whatever they are, the D's whatever, 33 calls or something like that. They're up about 580%. So really, really sweet. Really, really good move here in SDS. So $1,800, folks. If you put on the SDS hedge that I said on Tuesday, you have enough in one trading day for an annual full throttle defensive position. Exactly, Gary. Multiple SDS, buy, profit, rinse, repeat. 6 out of 7 times that I have recommended getting long some SDS calls as a hedge, they have made money. They've printed money. 6 out of 7 times is a pretty damn good success rate. And the one time I didn't was right here. As we got up to this 200-day moving average, I said, man, don't believe this rally. This thing's going to, and then this was a short squeeze through the 200-day moving average, and then they sold off and made some money. So I couldn't be more happy with our hedges recently. And I got to be honest with you, folks. So here we are at a triple bottom. Do we go lower? And I'm getting hit with 1,000 questions in the chat box. One of the reasons we only take 50 people is because I don't like getting hit with 1,000 questions in the chat box. Should we close them? Should we take our profits? Should we do? Are we going lower? Guess what? Now it's time for the shameless plug. You have got to be a member, because I don't even know if, to be honest with you, if we're going to do we'll do the brief tomorrow at 10 a.m. I got to pack and get ready to head up to Army Navy, man. Army Navy this weekend. We'll still do the session tomorrow, but folks, the smart people have been kind of sneaking in the back door, so to speak. Let me show you. On the replay page, there was a green enlist button. So the 8 people so far have clicked on that button and gotten their full throttle slot. So as this slide says, we only have about 42 slots left, and now that we're officially opening the door here, those are going to start going. So let me give you a quick brief on exactly what we're doing and full throttle and what that means. So on the screen right here, and this whole page has everything mapped out on here. What we call them tracks, because when I was kind of a little old lady in tennis shoes retail trader before I essentially ran a multi-billion-dollar options trading firm in New York. A lot of training out there is one size fits all, and everybody in this room is not one size fits all. I took a poll the other day. About 15% of you were brand new to options, about 45% kind of know a little bit, and the rest of you were maybe Jedi Masters. So here's what we need to do is no, Peter, if you already purchased your monthly, you're currently a member, you're good to go. So here we call them tracks, okay? Defensive track is you get everything, all the full throttle training, the 8 training videos and live briefs. I'm going to go from, hey, this is the stock market, this is where I look for my financial intelligence, to these are options, these are puts, these are calls, all the way up to session number 8, where we look at advanced tactics. So that's the full throttle training. You're going to get your 3 training manuals. Okay, you can download these. They start with primary, intermediate, and advanced. I copied and stole all this stuff from Navy Flight School, man. If they can take a dude who's never even seen an airplane and in a short amount of time turn them into a steely-eyed fighter pilot, you know, we could do the same thing to you. So you get 8 training videos, you get 3 training manuals, and then you're going to get access to these services. Everybody does. But the defensive track, you get access to accelerated retirement. That's a portfolio that's a little bit more conservative and longer dated. The offensive track, you do what we did Monday. Weekly options. It's every Monday at 1 o'clock. Very tactical trading, as you saw that. Well, you didn't see this week. I didn't open up weekly options to the public. I just did my normal members only brief on Monday. And one day we opened and closed a trade risking $5,000 that made $2,400. And anybody's, yeah, Steve already beat me to it. He's still in that trade. He's up $2,800. Okay, so check this out. This is the defensive track is $19.95 for an entire year. So just with those SDS calls from Tuesday, I paid for an annual membership, 1 trade, and it was a hedge, right? The offensive track is $24.95 for a year. But folks, to be honest with you, 85% of our current members do full throttle max. What's full throttle max? You get offensive and defensive. This is where you need to be, okay? And it's $29.95 for an entire year. And based on looking at $6,000 in profits this week, I think that's a pretty fair price. Just click on this image right here. You see this? This is one big image. You click on it, and that's where you can grab your slot. So all the annual memberships are up here. Obviously, they're more they're less expensive than month to month. We do offer month to month slots, but and to be honest with you, as a businessman, I'd love everybody in here to go in there month to month. But you're losing money. Almost everybody who does a monthly slot within 2, 3, 4 months ends up calling us and saying, "Yeah, can I upgrade into annual?" Sure. You wasted 3 months of money. I don't mind it, but I'm telling you, if you do month to month, in 3, 4, 5 months, you're going to be calling us and upgrading into an annual. So just save money today and do the annual. That's, if you're an options trader, you get it. You get the time value of money, and most likely you'll do an annual membership. But obviously, folks, you can give us a call or shoot us an email in a couple months. If you want to kick the tires for a couple months, by all means, go ahead and click on that image, and you can find your way to the monthly slots. But everything's on the page here, folks, about what you get with the offensive track, the defensive track. Here's the training schedule. Like I told you, session 1 in a couple weeks, we're going to do, I usually do them every Tuesday and Thursday night for 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks, 2 sessions a week, that's 8 sessions right there. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, grab a glass of wine, I sit here, and for an hour to an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, I go through every one of the tactics that we cover, and I go through them in excruciating detail. Nobody leaves a full throttle training session at night with a question mark over their head or a clue bird flapping on their shoulder. I'm going to talk about covered calls and cash secured puts for an hour to 2 hours. I'm going to talk about double verticals. And folks, this takes a building block approach, right? Trading methods and intel sources. That's the basics. Then let's talk about what an option is, calls, puts, the basics of options. Then cover. It's a building block approach until session number 8. And the reason we do this training is because during these live trade briefs, like we're going to do here in a couple minutes, if somebody says, "Hey, Wiz, how the hell do I do a double vertical?" I go, "Hey, John, great question. Go watch the training video." I don't want to eat up time during our live trade briefs as the market's going on. I mean, Tuesday, as we were talking about getting a hedge on, the market imploded 300 points. So I want to be able to be tactical and dogfighting in our trade briefs instead of spending an hour and a half of a trading session, explaining these tactics. So you get access to all of these. And the cool part is the entire time you are a member here at Top Gun Options in Full Throttle, you get access to the next live trading sessions. Meaning, let's say in January or February or March, we open up the doors to another 50 people. I'm going to do another 8 fresh, brand new training sessions. You get access to these as long as you're here at TGO. That pays for itself. We charge people $495 who are not members just for these. and they pay it. So you're not paying $495 every time we do these 8 briefs. You get them for free going forward. So just that alone is pretty damn cool. And obviously you get all the manuals, like I said. They're $55, $65, $75, your primary, intermediate, and advanced. You grab these, curl up in front of the fireplace on the couch or down here on the beach, and you start reading these training manuals, and they're going to answer all your questions. So this really is the industry-leading training out there, guys. We've been around for 8 years, and you really need to get airborne. Exactly. Karen's like, hey, those 8 training sessions is really the most valuable. I still have people who've been here for 8 years who are like, Wiz, I've seen this Iron Condor lecture about 8 times, and I learned something new during each one of them. Okay, so James, as I said, Tuesdays and Thursdays for 4 weeks from about 7 to 8 or 8:30 Eastern. Okay, so here you go, folks. The doors are open. Go.topgunoptions.com/getft. Get full throttle. If you missed anything that we did this week, it's on the replay page. You ready for it? It's /FT replay. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. And yeah, we're going to cover everything in a little bit here, guys. I got to open the doors and get folks who are motivated to get on board here. Like I said, the annual membership is the best deal. If you're interested in private coaching, I do private coaching. It's higher dollar. It's one-on-one. You get to text with me, email. I already had 2 coaching calls. I went and got my ears lowered this morning. Getting in within standards to go to the Army Navy game, and I sat in the barber chair and had 2 coaching calls, and it was really good stuff. So, any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, like I said, folks, this is we've been around for 8 years, and there's a reason. It's a simple methodology, the strategic, operational, and tactical methodology that keeps us from caring about these massive swings. Man, we are the SDS calls that we looked at, like I said, are up $1,800 right now, and that's in 2 days. I told you we're going. Look at this headline. This is the headline on Zero Hedge today. This cracked me up. It says, trader who correctly called Tuesday's crash lays out what happens next. I'm like, is that me? Is this an article about me? We've nailed this, guys. I told you Tuesday. I said this was going to happen, man. Trade truce is bullshit. The question now is if we hold the October lows. We had a massive spike in what today? We had a ginormous spike in volatility. What did I say Tuesday in the live trade brief, folks? I said there is a distinct possibility that the VIX spikes up to where, look, the line's still there from Tuesday. Folks, I just don't, I'm very passionate about what I do. If I wasn't doing this for you guys, well, I do this for me, but I open up, when I'm trading, I kind of open up the door here so you can eavesdrop and look over my shoulder. So, this is, it ain't rocket surgery. If I can do it, you guys can do it. So, well, Jim, we'll talk about the Huawei CFO arrested, the lady arrested in Canada that's going to be extradited. That's not the reason, guys. The president for the past 2 days has looked like an idiot. I can't even, seeing Hillary Clinton, a criminal, in church, sit next to a rapist, and they wouldn't even look at Donald Trump. I'm like, that's because she knows she's most likely going to jail soon. But the president's looked really stupid in the past couple of days, sending out tweets like, now I might be, maybe I'm being naive, but I believe the Chinese president and everything he's saying about trade. The guy looks awful. I'm a Trump fan. I like the message. I don't like the dude. I think he's a narcissist sociopath. But he looks absolutely awful. He's trying to hope a deal or hope this market higher, and hope ain't a strategy, man. So we hit the October lows here. It ain't the all clear isn't going to come tomorrow, folks. There ain't going to be no snapback relief rally on a Friday going into a weekend. So, here we go. So let's get airborne. You got to start and my phone's buzzing every time. It's almost like, what is it? What's that Christmas movie? Bedford Falls. What's the one with Jimmy Fonda? Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Every time my phone buzzes, somebody gets an annual membership. We will close the doors, guys. Do not try and be the 51st member. There's a couple current members who are like, oh my God, you guys weren't kidding about that. Yeah, we will not take new members until we do another one of these in a couple months. So if you don't get your slot now, You will be, we close the doors tomorrow, guys. When I get on the airplane with my son Jack to go up to the Army Navy game, we will be closing down, and you cannot contact support and say, hey, can I get a slot there? So Jimmy Stewart, not Fonda. Man, I'm going nuts here. If you have any questions, concerns, by the ways, no smart remarks, you can keep them to yourself. That's the number to place an order. Do not call this number for support. We do not do phone support. We only do email support, so we have a record of any issue. But you can call that number 754-300-1084 if you want to place an order by phone. For some reason, there's people who don't understand that the internet works and you can place an order online. I just don't understand. Alan, if you're interested in a lifetime membership, shoot an email. I'll put this in here. If you want to really, really save money, the lifetime membership a couple of years ago was $10,000. It goes up $2,500 every year. So on this January 1st, it'll be $17,500. So Alan, if you want to lock in 15 right now, shoot an email to support@topgunoptions.com. So yeah, guys, if you want to save $2,500 and you're interested in a lifetime membership, I'd grab that now. The lifetime membership right now is an option. I can tell you for a fact on 1 January it's going up $2,500. So if you want to save $2,500, support@topgunoptions.com. So Alan, yeah, we don't have a form for that. We just we take wires and ACHs. So there you go. Support@topgunoptions.com, Alan, to get a lifetime membership. That's the best deal, guys. I obviously don't brief that now. I don't come out of the hey, spend 15. But Alan sounds like he's a smart dude and understands the value, and we get here. So yeah, each year it's went from 10 to 12.5 to 15, and it's 17.5 on January 1st. All right. I can't stand the sales stuff, guys, but obviously I'm a businessman. There you go. There's the marketing. It should have sold itself. Remember, men lie, numbers don't. We did that one day FXI trade on Monday. I took a look at, I told you on Tuesday, I'm like, man, markets close tomorrow. We are going lower. When the market opens on Thursday, we're going to implode. If you listen to me, at one point today, you were up about $2,000 in those calls. So again, men lie, numbers don't, and we're having a great time here. So we're going to do one more session tomorrow at 10 a.m. So that we're almost done. We're going to do accelerated retirement right now, and then tomorrow at 10 a.m. We usually don't do anything on Fridays, guys, but obviously with the passing of President Bush, what a just somber moment. What a great dude, very, very good dude. Good family, good people. All right, and you guys know me. I'm going to skip all that crap. Real quick, in sad news, as we were laying one of our, national heroes, naval aviator, to rest off the coast of Japan, in the Sea of Japan, an F-18D, a two-seat F-18, was attempting to in-flight refuel off a Marine C-130, and they had a mid-air collision. The two aviators ejected out of the two-seat Hornet. They were rescued. Unfortunately, one of the guys died this morning, and the 5 Marines in the C-130 are all dead. There are no ejection seats. There are no parachutes. That KC-130 is done. So 6 Marines killed yesterday as we were putting President Bush to rest. Freedom isn't free, guys. As we talk about making money and this and that and all sorts of stuff and have fun, remember that there are men and women out on the tip of the spear keeping us safe so we can sit here and make money. And I'm really looking forward to the Army Navy game on Saturday. The president's going. There's great people. Those young Marines will never see their wives, their husbands, their children, or their parents again. And it just kind of in the background of the news. Obviously, national news yesterday was about the president, but this is just horrific. Marine Aircraft Group 12, 6 Marines got killed. So keep it all in the perspective, guys. If your portfolio ain't looking too good, remember you have air in your lungs. Okay? So here we go. Again, I love this headline. Trader who correctly called Tuesday's crash lays out what happens next. What about me, man? Actually, it's funny. I get called for media interviews and stuff like that. I usually keep to myself because I like having a tight-knit squadron here at Top Gun Options. I love the members. I love being in the ready room. And it's it's just funny that headline. We've gotten a lot right here at TGO. The election of Donald Trump, the market rally, that the FANGs, these pieces of shit, limousine liberal tech stocks, are going to implode. They absolutely did, and they're going lower. Facebook is awful. The emails that the British government have uncovered on Facebook, secret deals to sell user data, that computerized data guy from Star Trek is a liar. He lied under oath. He committed perjury. The Twitter CEO committed perjury. I'd love to know, if Cohen, Trump's attorney, pled guilty under Bob Mueller to committing perjury to Congress, when are these people being indicted? These limousine liberal tech CEOs that lied under oath. So we predicted that. I told you, get out of the tech stocks and short the hell out of them. I was bullish on Apple. I was bullish on Facebook. You couldn't find a bigger bullish guy. And now, a year ago, we were right. I told you to bail and to short them. Here's what the headline was as we were watching the funeral services yesterday, and we were doing our vertical spread training. Yeah, exactly. Whoever just asked, the verticals, it wasn't even vertical spread training. What did we do yesterday? I changed it. I made an audible on the fly. Why? Because that's what we do. I took a look at getting long the Spider Consumer Discretionary. Why? The XLY is a good proxy for Amazon. Folks, if in 2 years from now, out to January of 21, Amazon or the XLY ain't around, we're all dead. A nuke went off. That's simply not the case. We're in a bear market right now, and we ain't getting out of this anytime soon. So it is a good idea to start bottom feeding, right? The buy the dip hasn't worked in any of this, right? I told you a month and a half ago, I said, stop buying the dip. Right here and here, I started bottom feeding, and then this shit show happened. I'm like, we're done. We're officially bearish. When you shift your mindset, folks, like I said, just think of this chart upside down. If you look at this chart upside down, this is the market imploding, and this is the market at record highs. When you become bullish, you smile, right? Now, markets go up eventually, guys, period. The 87 crash, the dot-com bust, 9/11, the financial crisis, 2008, 2009. It sucked, and then the markets go up eventually, guys. But during these violent bear markets, you can print money. You have got to change your strategic mindset. Talking to a couple coaching folks that are wishing the market higher, I'm like, dude, go bang your head against the wall and get bearish. You have to make the strategic mindset shift. Colin Powell once said, he's like, never get so close to your position as to not be able to bail out of it and change it when presented with new facts. Guys, here's the new facts. The economy is slowing down. The Fed missed it, guys. This guy, yours truly sitting here, was speaking blue in the face for the past couple of years, saying what? Janet Yellen needs to raise rates. Come on, Wiz, interest rates are high, stocks will die. You're going to kill. I'm like, no. The Fed they need to, and back in the day, I was one of those voices that was like, hey man, the Fed never gets it right. Maybe this time they should start raising rates. But folks, guess what? Janet Yellen was a political animal, and so was Ben Bernanke. Raise rates under Barack Hussein Obama? God, no way. Now you know why Donald Trump a month ago called the Fed crazy. He's like, what are you guys, nuts? You're going to kill this economy. You should have started raising rates before. Now you're going to do it? The dude was right. So the U.S. economy is starting to slow. I'm going to brief you on some macroeconomic data that came out today that are not good. So that's exactly right, Mike. They haven't gotten it right since, 1913. So anyway, let's keep going here. I'm not a super big bond guy. I get it. I have a big cockpit, folks, and this is one of the instruments in my cockpit that I keep in my scan. The yield curve is flattening, the 2, 5, and 10s. Remember, the shorter term rates are supposed to be higher than this, and when they invert, that lets people know that a recession or a shitstorm is coming. What also is a bad omen? If you haven't heard of this, let me give a new term to you. You see this blue line? This is the 50-day moving average on the S&P 500. This red line is the 200-day moving average. You know what we just did today? You know what this is called? A death cross. The market just saw a death cross today. Officially, the S&P 500, 50-day and 200-day moving average crossed. That ain't supposed to happen. And that's another indicator of what? A bearish market or a bear market. Okay? I'm going to, and for those of you that are chomping at the bit, choking on your popcorn right now, this is not the bottom. I get this. Look at this. This October low, we had a little bit of a drill down to the February lows. This Friday after Thanksgiving rebound was stupid. I told you this is bullshit. Don't believe this rally. Short it. We were right. This one, we technically really didn't hit the October lows, but we kind of had this drill bit down to it. This ain't the bottom, guys. And I was watching my buddies on the halftime report on CNBC. Everybody thinks by December 31st we're going to be higher. What are they basing that on, man? There ain't no, you ready for this? I hope the kids aren't listening. There ain't no Santa this year. There is no Santa Claus rally, right? It's just, it's over with, guys. Let's stop. Let's put down the hopium here, at least for a while. Now, like I said, hold on one second. I saw this last night. I posted it. Guys, make sure you're following me on Instagram. I post some funny shit, but I saw this the other day. I posted this on my Instagram. Where's my stories? How many of you guys know this whole elf on a shelf thing? I posted this. These kids need elf on a shelf to behave. That's cute. We had belt on a shelf. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, this whole elf on a shelf thing. Or wait, did you guys see that? Hold on. Instagram. Here it is. Look at this. I saw this cracked me up. Because I have kids, obviously. At least my daughter Keely still believes in Santa Claus and the whole elf on a shelf thing. So I thought that was I got a good chuckle out of that one. We had belt on a shelf. So, Rick, if you absolutely should close those Jan 19 long calls if you think there ain't going to be a Santa Claus rally. We're going to get to that in a couple minutes. Let me finish my brief and we'll get tactical. Remember, guys, we follow a structured format on this in our briefs. And if you don't know that we do that, you didn't watch the Welcome Aboard brief up here. What we do in our briefs is called SOT, Strategic, Operational, Tactical. You can put it in a triangle: strategic, operational, tactical. I do a strategic brief about what's going on around the world. I haven't even talked about this, folks, but we talked about it on Tuesday, was Iran. The president has ordered the Stennis battle group into the Persian Gulf. OPEC is meeting today, or wrapping up a meeting. Absolute clown car. Again, the president looked embarrassed tweeting today. I hope OPEC doesn't raise oil rates. It's not going to help the world economy. Dude, shut up and put your phone away. Yeah, like OPEC cares about us. Even your buddy, the Saudi Arabian prince. Did you see what the prince did down in Saudi Arabia, in Argentina? He's high-fiving Putin like they're best friends. Really, Donald? So we do a strategic brief, then we get operational and talk about what's going on here in the States, and then we get tactical and we trade. So let's stick to our brief, and we'll get to all of our tactics and our trades, especially in the accelerated retirement portfolio. So. Let me keep going here. So the flat yield curve, guys, isn't good. Okay. I wanted to listen to this too. So Jamie Dimon's speaking. He's usually a calming voice, and I think what he just alluded to, folks, and this is one of my giveaway trades, and when it's going to be a new sector for us in Jan, when I do our welcome kind of to next year brief, is CME Group. You've got to get long CME Group. And these blue blood banks, the trading volumes they are seeing right now, since we haven't seen a market shitstorm like this in a long time, the trading houses are printing money. People are trading their asses off right now. So we need to get long CME Group. We're gonna talk about that probably next week after we get airborne with some new folks. You ready for this? Traders starting to doubt whether the Fed will raise even once in 2019. Whoa. And what did the vice chairman of the Fed say this morning? The vice chairman of the Fed, who is an Obama appointee, and the guy's kind of a tool, was one of the reasons this market imploded back here. He said, we're gonna do our job. We're raising rates. Market implodes. Right around here, Donald Trump says the Fed is crazy. Under Barack Hussein Obama, you had near 0% interest rates, and you guys were pumping $85 billion a month into the market. My 10-year-old daughter can have an up stock market and somewhat average economy. Now, with a good economy, you're going to start pumping this. You're going to unwind your balance sheet, about a $5 trillion balance sheet, and you're going to raise rates. What did the vice chairman and Obama appointee say here when the Fed, he called the Fed crazy? He was kind of a dick. He said, you know what? We're going to do our job, and we're not impacted by political forces. You know what that guy said this morning? Well, we're taking a look at what's going on in the equity market, blah, blah. He did what? He kissed us on our forehead and put a Band-Aid on our boo-boo. Isn't that interesting? So, folks, and the market is everybody remember that movie Blazing Saddles? Oh my God, could you imagine making that movie today? There would be riots out in front of a movie theater. We used to watch that movie almost all the time on the aircraft carrier. But remember when the sheriff, he like pointed his own gun to his head? He's like, don't make me do it. I'm just crazy enough to do it. The market is doing that to the Fed, saying, hey, man, here's my opinion. I think we still get a rate increase in, a week and a half. But they are very, very, very dovish. Okay, based on the speech last week from the Fed chief, they're going to, and as Diamond is talking, the market's going lower. So he's not being a market calmer right now. What came out yesterday when the president was being laid to rest? The Beige Book. The Beige Book confirms the U.S. economy is slowing. And that's not good. Okay, and this was me talking about the CME group the other day. You need to get long the CME group. If you want to know how to get long the CME group, you need to become a member, because I'm not going to do that today. I'll do it next week when you become a member. Already talked about Facebook and all those other crappy stuff. Let's talk about the macroeconomic data came out today. We got revised non-farm payroll productivity. It was flat. Labor costs, look at that. That is a miss. The trade balance, a little bit of a miss. Weekly unemployment claims, a miss. A final services PMI, a little bit of a beat, but still not, not in fuego here, folks. Here's the bad news. Factory orders absolutely imploded, folks. This is like, how low is this? Man, this is factory orders, guys. This is Trump's, oh my God, factories are humming again. Look at that implosion. What's that? We're at a year lows on factory orders, man. That ain't bullish. That's not good. The report contains a revision of the durable goods orders released about a week earlier. We saw the durable goods number last week. Not good. I told you, man. I said we are starting to slow down. What's the headline though? Because I hate doing the math on my own. Where is it? We are at I completely agree with this, folks. Did the markets miss Powell's real message? I think it did, and I told you guys. This really pisses me off. The FBI knew the Steele dossier was bullshit before they. So the FBI used trumped up evidence that they knew was a lie, went to a judge, lied about it, and got a warrant to spy on Americans. If you're not ready to grab your AR-15 and storm Washington, you're not an American. These people need to be in prison. What if this happened to you? What if FBI agents made up evidence, lied to a judge to get a warrant, spied on you, and threw you in jail? Don't get me started, man. Where is it? Not WTI. Factory. There it is. I said a year ago, but I was off by 3 months. U.S. factory orders tumble most in 15 months. U.S. services sector dips on weak unemployment. So, folks, this is we're slowing down. So now let me get to the summary slide, and we're going to get tactical. Here's the summary slide, meaning let's move on. I think the Fed raises in a week and a half on schedule. And I think their comments – now remember this. Starting in January, every Fed meeting is a press conference. Remember in the past, in the good old days, when men were men and sheep were nervous, in the good old days, it was like every other month or whatever was a press conference. Some Fed meetings, they did a press release, right? This one, every meeting is going to be a press conference where the dude, the captain, the skipper comes out and actually speaks and answers questions. So that can be good and bad. So I think the Fed raises and they're dovish. Now, before I jumped on the air, I got off a call from a buddy in New York. He's like, dude, we're starting to, telegraph that the Fed might not even raise in a couple weeks. I'm like, that would be bad. What are you talking about, Wiz? If they don't raise rates in a couple weeks, it's bullish. No, it's not. We've done this with FXI, folks. If the Fed doesn't raise rates in a couple weeks, the market may initially go, yay. And then what's going to happen? It's going to go boo, because they're going to go, wait a minute. If the Fed's not raising rates, the economy's worse than they're telling us, and we implode. Does everybody understand that? How many times have we done that with FXI? Here and here. Oops, sorry. Here and there, at least twice, while we've been trading FXI bearish, here and here. What happened, guys? Does anybody remember? Let me write these 4 letters up on the screen. The PBOC, the People's Bank of China, stepped in to do what? Save capitalism. They did what our Fed did. They injected liquidity into the Chinese stock market. What happens? It is a sugar high. The market goes high for a couple days, like, yay, extra liquidity. And then what happens? The market goes boo, because wait a minute, why is the PBOC jumping in to save capitalism? Uh-oh. We know the Chinese government's full of shit anyway. It implodes. Well, now they came in and added more money. Look at that next pop. So this was a sugar high. Market digested it and went down. They also did it again. That went down immediately. It will do the same thing with our markets, folks. I don't want the Fed I want the Fed to raise rates. You guys know me, man. I'm a free market self-cleaning oven. At the Options News Network in 2009, I think I still have a couple of the clips. I'm like, let it burn. What's this too big to fail bullshit? What about my company? Why can't the federal government come in and bail me out? Screw General Motors, screw Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, AIG, let it burn. We're not supposed, one of the problems with our country right now is everybody gets a freaking trophy. No, they don't. Especially freaking 6 dead Marines, man. They didn't get a trophy. Screw this. It's awful. Absolutely awful. So I want the Fed to raise rates, and I want us to get back to what a normal market is. I'm sick. Ben Bernanke, years ago, more or less became the Pope, and he went out onto the balcony and said, there is no hell to Catholics. And we've been partying our ass off in this market. It is time for hell to come back, period. And as an options trader, you should like that. Don't say, if your longs are getting hammered right now, I got it. I got a lot of Jan 21s that look like they suck. Did you hear the second part of that? Jan 21, man. We got plenty of time for this market to recover. We have got to go through these cyclical bear markets encased in a big bull market. Does everybody get that? Yeah, Jan, you have got to let it burn. It's got to be a self-cleaning oven. If not, we're all screwed. Let's all run to our safe space and cry and hug each other. That's not the way it works. So, all right, guys, let's get tactical. We gave a strategic brief. We got operational, talked about the Fed and stuff like that. And earnings, man, I don't think Q4 earnings are going to be that hot. I think Q4 earnings are going to be on fire with these guys, the exchanges, man. And I love the CME group. I got a lot of buddies that work there still, and this is where you need to be, the CME group. So anyway, Elda, yeah, I posted it earlier, but if you just joined us, this is it, guys. This is where you need to grab your slot. Tomorrow is it. I'll do one brief tomorrow, one more free brief, and then we close the doors for about 2-3 months, and we won't be taking new members. So if you're digging this, get out of here. Tamara, I could care less right now. It's a great point, and I saw what the president said about the federal budget, but I love how liberals have all of a sudden become deficit hawks. Listen to this statistic, guys. A single man, Barack Hussein Obama, put more debt on this country than every president combined in front of him. From George Washington to George Bush, that dude put on more debt than all of those guys combined. And and people are gonna go apeshit that, hey man, deficit spending. I talked to my marketing team. I'm like, if I can spend $1 and make $2, I'll go in the hole $100 to make 2,000 or whatever. Does that make sense? So deficit spending when I'm a libertarian, but deficit spending when you're a Republican and when you're a Democrat has completely two different meanings. That dude loaded up debt to give away Obama phones. This guy's loading up debt to build our military back. That C-130 that crashed, guys, is older than me. How about does everybody remember the C-130, the Marine C-130 that disintegrated at 28,000 feet last year? Could you imagine being 6 Marine air crewmen? Where was it? It was I flew out of Fort Worth, and it was the C-130 squadron down the taxiway. The plane disintegrated in midair. So Bush's Dano had to fix Bush's war. It wasn't Bush's war. I'm not even going to get started, guys. If you don't think there was weapons of mass destruction, you're a complete retard. I was going to say Barack Hussein Obama. Saddam Hussein had chemical weapons, and they were placed on 18 tractor trailers and moved into Syria a week before we struck. I know it for a fact because I saw it. Where do you think Syria got the chemical weapons they're dropping on their people right now? The man had weapons of mass destruction. The real reason we had to go in and is Bill Clinton, folks. I flew over the no-fly zones and got shot at. You want to talk about a ceasefire? A ceasefire means that. So George Bush the first stopped Operation Desert Storm. We could have gone all the way to Baghdad, and that would have destroyed the international coalition he put together. What happened? General Schwarzkopf sat in a tent across from Iraqi generals, and they agreed to a ceasefire. We're done. We surrender. What happened in 8 years under Bill Clinton? They shot at us. So George Bush didn't need weapons of mass destruction to go into and attack Iraq. They could have used the fact that they broke the ceasefire. So I'm not even going to get into that, Dano. You can call it Bush's war. They had weapons of mass destruction, period. I know it for a fact. And the Syrians are killing their people with them. All right, let's get tactical. On Tuesday, we did our primary live trade brief. How many of you are still in the FXI bear call spread? I mean, that thing, I got out of mine, I think like it was $2,400 in the brief by the time I jumped over to Brand X. So this trade we placed Monday at 17 cents. What's it at right now? The 43 and a half. So there you go, guys. It was risking 52.80 to make 27. This one's at max profit right now. Anybody still in it? Rebecca? Okay, good. Yeah. Go on, take the money and run. So Sam closed his today for a penny. There you go. Mike got his out of 2. So George or Greg, of course, he had weapons of mass destruction. He used them on his own people. Remember that one general? They called him Chemical Ali. Chemical Ali, absolutely. He gassed and killed those people. Of course, Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, but liberals don't like to be hit with the truth. So anyway, so that was Monday, and then let's see what SDS is doing right now. What were they? The 35 calls, SDS. How many of you didn't listen to me and didn't get on your SDS 35 calls? When I got on the air, they were up at like what, 475, PLTB, Primary Life Trade Brief. Yeah, guys, the link is on there to buy, guys. Good, Dano. Made money on SDS. Good. That means you closed them out. I'd close these SDS if you're making money, man, and they've hit your personal profit points. So we got into these at 280 flat. 280 was mid-market. 280 28. Well, there you go. Let me do the math. You ready? 280 minus 4, or here's political science math. $4.80 minus $2.80 is. Oops. See, I can't even do that right. It's $2 times 10 shares. They're currently at, or not currently, they were at about $2,000. Now they're at about $1,800. I would close these guys if you got your hedge on. So look at this. We risked we came out of pocket about $3,000 and we made $2,000, or they're up $1,800 by now. I would close these right now and I would put new ones on. Okay. Tom, thank you so much for the Iraq intel. I had some doubts until now. Tom, I saw it. It was a well-known fact that he sent his WMDs that he used on his own people into Syria, but the liberals in the media don't like to report that. John closed SDS at 70% this morning. Good. Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to take a look at some of these trades and then look at Raytheon. We got out of a Raytheon 1 week trade for $1,800. Raytheon was the only green. Well, my hedge was green on my screen today, but Raytheon actually caught a little bit of a bid. And this is technically significant for our Raytheon, guys. What did I say on Tuesday? I said we're at a double bottom here. I said Raytheon needs to hang out here right around this 165. And what did it do? It bottomed out at 165. I wouldn't step in here and get bullish, but this is relatively good news. We have a bear. I'd still be bearish on Raytheon here short term. I would probably right around here a bear call spread. So let me go through. Rick, I don't roll calls, man. I'm done rolling stuff. If you're showing a profit, remember on a debit spread, anytime, if you're a straight call buyer, my rule of thumb is with those SDS calls, if I can double my money, or at least make half on my money, I close them. So I don't roll. I'm not a roller, man, so to speak, anymore. So, so accelerated, let me pull up our AR portfolio. Accelerated retirement, guys. Last Wednesday, what did I do? Nothing. Look at this. We closed an Amazon spread for a beautiful profit last week, but look at that. All there is a replay. What did I do last Wednesday? Going into the Buenos Aires meeting, I said, guys, do not do anything. Sit on your hands or hedge. Right? So last week we did nothing in AR, but a good review and a good brief of Argentina. Actually, last week we talked about getting long what? Those SDS calls to hedge against that. So Raytheon, Visa are our main positions in here. We did some VXX a couple weeks ago. Let's get on a couple bearish trade, and the chat box is exploding with new SDS calls. So not everybody answered my question, and I won't say your name. How many of you attended Tuesday and didn't get on your SDS? That's what I want to know, because I want to know who's listening, who's not. Welcome aboard, James, with a Full Throttle Max annual subscription from Plainville, Connecticut. So, guys, yep. All right, we probably got about 35 slots left, folks, and we close them, guys. Like I said, these are going very, very quickly. And a lot of people that are asking questions right now, I don't recognize your name, which means you're not currently a member. So I'm going to hook you up, but you come this time tomorrow. We're going to be done. Oh, nice. Who said that? SDS, Kevin. Nice job, man. Let me show what Kevin's saying here. Good. Awesome. So there's Kevin. SDS and more up 10,000 plus today. So folks, there's a guy. Kevin's a good dude, a coaching client. He's a good guy, and guess what? In a day when the Dow's down 440 points, this guy's up over 10 grand. You do not need an up market to make money, folks. You don't need an up market to make money. This is Kevin's doing it right here. There's no greater testimonial than my members here. So this is great. Holy crap, Dano! Let me show people that you were doing. Dano's doing the Lord's work in Amazon, and we have to save. We got to save some time to talk through Amazon, because Amazon, I think it's going to be one of the few that's going to emerge from this shit show relatively unscathed. So look at that. Dano's been doing some good work in Amazon, man. Dano is up 6 figures in Amazon. I know Kevin, one of my other coaching clients, is doing the Lord's work in Amazon. Where's Gerald? Who else are my Amazon guys? Yeah. So, but all right, let's get going, because there's a lot of nervous people in here wanting to know how to get some free trades. So, Yeah, hey Mike, if you and I had a coaching call earlier. If you're flat today, I had a call with Mike. He's like, "Hey man, I'm actually flat today, and I'm happy about that." So that's a good thing. If you're on a day when the market imploded, I think we were down 740 points at the low. If you were flat today, you're making money. So, Paul, why not a long call diagonal in Amazon? Because we would have to borrow money from the Fed. That's why I did the XLY instead. So do me a favor and watch the replay from the other day. I spoke for about 20 minutes on why I use XLY as a proxy to get long on Amazon. So please watch the replay. I maybe 30 minutes I spent on that. Okay. All right, so let me help out the folks that are stressing out here. As you can tell, we're having fun. Members are having fun. What did I say on Tuesday when I got long SDS calls? I said there's, just like VXX, I said there's a distinct possibility that we go up to here. Let's do a quick, let me do something real quick. Let's see, I'm going to do a, Al, what do you mean getting, Al, the replays are on every member post. So, for example, Al, you go to primary live trade briefs. Here is Tuesday's brief. You'd simply click on it. The replays, folks, are at the bottom. Here's all the trades we did. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of every post, Al, it's right here, man. There's a video. On the bottom of every post is the video. I don't know why you're having problems finding the replays. They're on every page. Every member page. So hopefully that clears it up. All right, let's get back to SDS here. Let me do a quick poll. I want to get a temperature reading of you guys. Manage polls. Hang on one second. Let's see where you all are. I'm going to ask you, and I want you all to see. Create new poll. You ready for this? All right, and then I want everybody to answer. All right, here we go. Let me launch this. Okay. And I'll launch it here. All right, so here's a poll. Let's see what all your squadron mates are thinking. There you go. What is your current strategic mindset? Bullish, bearish? If you don't think we're at a bottom, put bearish. It's your Air Force mentality. Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody vote. You should have a poll on your screen. Do me a favor and vote, and then we're going to get to trading here. And just because, the Dow was down, it's funny to hear the idiots in the financial media in their nice suits and their good hair talking like, well, we were off only 700 points. Now we're only off 400. Like, that's a rally. All right. All right, here we go. I'm going to close it in a couple seconds here. Are you bullish? We're getting ready to bottom feed. Are you bearish? Are you volatile? Not you personally. Or are you neutral? All right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's close it. Let's see what everybody thinks. Look at that, man. The vast majority of us are either bearish or volatile. Think we're in for an absolute craziness. And I'm going to say I agree with both of those. You can be bearish and volatile. So here's what I believe, folks. It's funny to hear people, especially on the halftime show, and Lee Cooperman. First of all, the dude's a criminal. Everybody kind of or ignores his recent SEC action. Just like Stevie Cohen at SAC Capital. The dude paid a $1 billion fine to the SEC as a bunch of his lieutenants went to prison for insider trading. It's awful. Anyway, all these people think equities are going to be higher on December 31st. Hint, my birthday. You know what my answer is? I don't know. It cracks me up when people predict the right side of a chart. Let me show you a quick little tactic that will tell you at least what the options market is predicting the right side of the chart is going to look like, at least within a range. Check this out. So I'm going to bring up the S&P 500. It's called SPX, right? I trade the index. I never trade SPY. And if you don't know why I would trade SPX over SPY, you need to Stop showing these results, man. Stop showing bull results. Hang on. Hide. There we go. All right, here we go. So you want to trade SPX. You do not want to trade SPY. Why? Because there is different tax treatment. Here's your disclaimer. I ain't your tax attorney. I'm not your accountant, and I do not play one on TV. You have got, but I just paid for your full throttle max annual subscription by telling you to trade SPX over SPY, and you'll thank me later. Anyway, and it does, as Harry says, it settles in cash. You cannot be assigned shares on SPX. But I am going to take a look at what is called the at-the-money straddle. So the options market is going to tell us that it expects the market to trade between these two certain prices. And let me show you how I do that. Right now, the S&P 500 is at 2663.75, which, oh, by the way, was what? What was the last bottom here? 2650. What the Kirk? You're in here, Dr. Moore. I told you yesterday, man, our coaching session. We need to head down to 2640 or whatever I said. We are right there, right? So let's take at least a look at what the options market is pricing in. There is no 2663 strike. So let's go out to December, end of this. Oh, good. They have a birthday strike. Let's go out to December 31st. And like I said, there's no 2662.45 strike, so let's just go closest to the one, and of course it's literally right in between these two strikes. Let's just go to 2665. I'm going to pull up what is called the at-the-money straddle. Okay? The at-the-money straddle is the options market telling us, you ready for this? Here's the range. You see the top of this teepee? Oh man, I don't want to be in trouble for culturally appropriating Indians. Look at this. This should be a 60 based on the math. With a 60% degree of certainty, the options market is saying we should be trading between here and here, 2565 and 2764. 2565? Where is 2565? Holy crap, man. 2565 sounds like what? If you traded in February and you were with us. Let's do a year-to-date chart. Hang on. Right now, guys, I'm kind of going through my trade checklist of giving you my strategic mindset, my commit criteria for putting on more SDS calls. I would close Tuesdays out and take the nice, whatever they are right now, $1,800, $2,000 profit. So let's go year-to-date on the S&P 500. 2565? Or what is it? 25, hang on. Short-term memory disorder. The at-the-money straddle is $100, guys. 2565. So the options market is saying, where's 25? Let me get right there. 25. Look at, and that's the bottom of this Keltner channel here, guys. 2565. So look at that, guys. Look at that. It is perfectly at what? Look at the magic that we're doing here. Stop. The April and February lows. The at-the-money straddle is pricing in you double this, right? Let's just round up and say it's a $200 wide straddle, man. The options market is saying there's a 60% probability that we go down to here, folks. Now, to all the guys that were just on the scene, that's why I call it Comedy Central. To all the dudes, and I think there was a lady, that were on that halftime show that say, when that's because they all kiss Leon Cooperman's ass because they don't want to badmouth him because then they lose interviews with him, right? It's so funny. Has anybody seen Mark Zuckerberg on CNBC lately? They were his biggest cheerleader for years. They never said a bad word about Facebook because they want to get the interviews. Now that it's known that the dude's a felon and a scumbag, you haven't seen or heard a word. Here's my point. Those dudes, that some of them are my friends, are putting in hope. How many of you trade on hope? They hope this market rebounds. Now, I've told you over the past month or so that we have not seen a bottom, and I've been right. A bottom is characterized by washout selling. Did we have some of that today? About that much. Did we see a big spike in volatility today? Yeah, we did. Do I think this is a bottom? No. So for all those dudes and the lady who said we're higher on December 31st, I will take the other side of that trade, and I think we go low. Right? And yeah, well, Mike, you're right. The options market is saying we don't know. That's a fairly wide at the money straddle. How many of you in this room, first of all, we have 90 days for this trade thing, and Larry Kudlow and the White House couldn't even be on the same page the other day. Wait, the president said the clock started when they got done dinner. Larry Kudlow said January 1st. Well, the White House came back and said the clock started when they left the meeting. The dudes at the White House don't even know what's going on. If you think in the next 90 days we're going to did anybody see the interview with Christine Lagarde, the head of the IMF today, the IMF? I always think about Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible. The head of the IMF said, she was asked, do you think in the next 90 days we get a trade deal done? Let me give you her answer. No. She gave some nice political French woman answer like, I believe in the next 90 days it's possible for us to get a framework to get a discussion going. Guys, this is going to be a long-term process. And whoever said that is right. You beat me to it. I'm 2 sentences away from saying that. What happens at the end of the year besides my birthday? What happens at the end of the year besides my birthday after a 2.5 month shit show? Absolutely. Tax loss selling. You got it, folks. So the people that are thinking the market's going higher are hoping for what? A Santa Claus rally? Guys, it's December 6th. If the Santa rally didn't come by now, the guy in the halftime show stole my Target thing again from the other day. I told you the Target CEO said he's never seen a more bullish, atmosphere for the holiday season. The markets shrugged on all of that news. So anybody saying, hey, I'm putting in a bottom and the market's going to be higher by year end is guessing. I'm going to tell you I'm guessing too, but I just gave you 4 to 5 reasons, educated reasons, as to why we're going lower. Haven't even factored in the political clown car. We delayed the government shutdown this week. Why? Because the president died. Donald J. Trump has said until he's blue in the face, I want $5 billion in the government funding for my border wall. Nancy and Chuck have said we want a Protect Mueller rider in our. Do they take both of those off and we get a government funding bill, or does guys? If you don't remember this time last year, what happened in October? The president said, "I will shut this thing down if you don't give me whatever it was, $1.5 billion for our border wall." And he blinked. He blinked, and his base went bananas. What did he say? He did blink. What did he say after he blinked? He goes, I will, and you rarely hear this guy say that. I will I don't think he said he made a mistake. He said, I will never, ever do that again. So we have a potential government shutdown coming up. We have a Fed that could really surprise the hell out of us and go, you know what? That little rally off of my speech, you guys need to listen to me. We're raising interest rates. Oh boy. There is so much uncertainty and volatility ahead. Do not pick a bottom. I want to be wrong, folks. I told you, I got some Jan 21s that ain't looking too healthy. I don't care about them right now. They're Jan 21s. If they're not healthy in 2 years, I'm an idiot and I picked the wrong Jan 21s. Right? We need to be trading the hell out of the front month. So for all of you who didn't, get your SDS on. Like I said, and market's off its lows, and if you could have gotten out of your SDS for $2,000, take the money and run, I'd still get it out of them today. If you believe that, you know what, Wiz, I need an overall market hedge, like you talked about on Tuesday, do the same thing. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. During government shutdowns, they shouldn't be paid, right? Every politician should have their paycheck suspended. If it's shut down, why are you getting paid? I was furious with John McCain. John McCain, for the last year and a half of his life, didn't go to work one day in the Senate. His last day at work was to go in there and screw President Trump. Dude shouldn't have been drawing a paycheck. How many of you have a job where you can be sick for a year and they pay you? It's ridiculous. Anyway, I would do, I would hop in my time machine. Let me go on SDS here. If you want to, and somebody just asked me, would you hang in SDS? If you didn't get out of them, one of the reasons I put them on was for longer term protection, right? So you could absolutely hold those. If your strategic mindset is that, you know what, Wiz, you just scared the shit out of me, and I think we're going lower, or at least we're hanging out down here, then hang out in them, right? No, Christoph, SDS, every day it rebalances. So it's got something called backwardation and contango in it. And I'll teach you all that stuff when you become a member. All right, here's what we got to do. If you want to get some hedges on, you know what, Wiz, I'm brand new to trading. I'm brand new to all this stuff, but I'm sufficiently, and I hate using the term scared, but you know what I'm getting at. Let me stick with my terms. You're bearish. Or you're volatile. A bunch of you, what is it, 40% you said, hey man, I'm either bearish or volatile. Then you need to get some of these calls on. Remember the other day I said the ProShares ultra short, this goes up as the market goes down. So if you think we are going lower in this market that we really haven't seen about it, I got to be honest with you, I did not see a ton of institutional selling. On my call, we said the institutions are dipping their toe in the selling water. You haven't seen a washout, guys. This wasn't a washout today. It felt like it for maybe a half an hour. I wanted that to happen today. I wanted the rest of the day to look like that. Not panic selling, but institutional selling and a spike in volatility. Then I would have said, you know what? Maybe it's time to start bottom feeding. We did not see that today, folks. So we need to get a little bit more protection on. And since I got to go over to Brand X to get out of mine, I'm going to hang on to my Jan for SDS calls. So here's what we need to do. Here's what I do whenever I'm buying long calls. And when you become a member, you're going to get access to the training, and we'll do training on how and why I do this, which will be awesome. Calvin, welcome aboard. Calvin got, what is that? That's a quarterly subscription. Welcome aboard, Calvin, from Camp Verde, Arizona. Okay, so that's we're probably down to around what? And there's a bunch of other emails in there. 31 slots, guys. So get ready, man. If you don't get your slot, mark my words, you will not be the 51st member because we do not take more than 50. So got to get in it, man. Here's what we need to do. I hopped in my time machine. I'm going out through the end of the year. And I said this the other day. I hate being a Debbie Downer, but as a fighter pilot, as an options trader, before I went on any mission or I place any trade, I look at what's going to kill us. And speaking of killing us, besides being my birthday, December 31st, it's New Year's Eve. I showed you an article the other day, or I briefed you on an article that ISIS has already said they're putting snipers in New York City now. And they're going to be shooting people on New Year. God forbid there's some sort of terrorist attack over New Year's, man. So you got to be hedged. So I'd look to buy these right here. So the other day we bought the 35s, and the closest to a 0.8 delta would be these. I would look to buy 10 of the January 4th 35.5 calls. You would be coming out of pocket 35.50 right there. Okay. And obviously, let's just take a look at the risk. What did I just say? The max that you could lose, and I hate using this word when it comes to a hedge. You do not lose money on a hedge. January 4th. Wiz, I lost 35.50 on this. Don't become a member if that's how you think. How many of you sit at your kitchen table and go, oh my God, man, I'm losing money every month to my State Farm or USAA auto, home, and life insurance policy? If you do, you're weird. You do not lose money on a hedge. If these calls, I'm going to use the term, go out worthless, what happened? You didn't need this ejection seat. The market went up. And I told you I don't mind being wrong in this case. It's not a loss. If you look on your screen and you think of it as a loss, you're not going to be a good options trader or an investor. Exactly, Harry. It helps you sleep better at night. So, and this, I got to be honest with you, I was going to cover it tomorrow. I was going to cover a term that we use at Top Gun Options called a trade. You ready for this? With a trade, I want to make money. With a hedge, I actually want to lose money. But here at Top Gun Options, I came up with a term called a trade. It's a trade that I think is going to make money, but it also serves as a hedge in case something bad happens. Very rarely do I buy straight calls and call it a trudge. But today, guys, I get we're off 400 points off the lows, but other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? We're down 360 points, guys. We're plumbing around a bottom. Only dudes at cocktail parties pick bottoms, right? In markets, because they can look to the left side of the chart. Don't step in here now and think you're bottom feeding, right? So I would look to, and remember, and obviously when you just buy calls, your upside is to infinity and beyond, as Buzz Lightyear would say. But the more the market implodes, the more money these calls make. This is what I call protective puts, right? Disaster, not puts. This is kind of a disaster protective trade. So we did the 35s the other day on Tuesday. They made $2,000 at their highest today. These, who knows? And remember, guys, these are out to January 4th. These still had a month to essentially go. We made $2,000 on calls in a day that were set to expire in a month. That shows you the volatility in this market, man. So there is your, I didn't want to waste too much time going through this, but the first 10 minutes of this webinar was questions by people who I guarantee you didn't listen to me on Tuesday and didn't get their hedge on there. So Rebecca from my beautiful city, man. San Diego, full throttle max slot. Excellent. Welcome aboard, man. Love, Matthew was born out in San Diego. Hold on one second. I have two coaching clients that their jobs preclude them from being in here. So yeah. Okay. All right. Now let's get to some other trades, folks, outside of just getting some hedges on. Any other questions there, guys? Any other questions? So Ed, they're much better than just buying puts on SPX, in my opinion, because they're leveraged. They're ultra short. I call these afterburner calls. They're not just regulars. These are on caffeine, right? These are on Jolt Cola and Ding Dongs or Ring Dings. Remember eating those growing up, man. Holy crap. Sugar puffs, right? So. Yeah, Graham, you know what? I didn't even brief that. You would think China's going to be a little bit pissed about the arrest of that guy's daughter. Yeah, her dad's a PLA member, right, or a Communist Party member. That ain't a friendly maneuver. Does China go out and arrest? I don't know. So anyway. Win. Well, if you have a Jan 21 trade that's underwater, what should you be doing right now, guys? Let's take Raytheon, for example. What should you be doing? If you have a Jan 21 Raytheon trade that's underwater, you should be selling at the money or slightly out of the money calls and bear call spreads. It shouldn't be underwater that long because you're selling the hell out of the front months, right? So let's do that. It was either going to be FXI. You know what? I'll put it up for a vote. I'm going to do a bearish trade right now, and it's either going to be on FXI or Raytheon. You guys tell me. So yeah, so look, let me show you who asked that. Win, let me ask you, so check this out. So people started answering, so your fellow members started answering for you. When you said your Jan 21's underwater, Harry, John, Kevin took my own words out of my mouth. You should be selling the hell out of the front month. So you should not be sitting there, and I did a couple of coaching calls yesterday with some folks who have Jan 21's that are underwater, and I'm like, where are your short calls in there? I'm actually an aggressive guy. What do? If I think something's going to keep going down short term, I sell in the money calls to make even more scratch. So yeah, the Jan 21's might be underwater, but that's one of the reasons we made them Jan 21's was what? For time to work on our side and also to pound the hell out of them into the dirt. All right, so what was the vote there? I didn't put a poll up, but it looks like most people were saying Raytheon. I am partial to FXI because I think that thing's just going to get beat into the dirt. Okay, now more people are FXI. And I know TLT, I don't even follow the TLTs. Guys, you're going to learn that I follow my portfolio. I don't do too many forays, so won't look at the TLTs. All right, Actually, as soon as I said FXI, most people jumped to FXI. Maybe in tomorrow's final session, we're going to take a look. I got to take a look at Amazon, and we'll do Amazon and Raytheon tomorrow. But this is going lower, folks. This is the FXI. This is the iShares China ETF. This is a good proxy for trading China. Look at what happened right here. Donald Trump, Buenos Aires, nobody does trade deals better than me, huge. China agreed to all this shit, blah, blah, blah. I said, sell the hell out of this. If you were in my weekly options brief Monday, you made $2,400, an 88% return in one day. Okay? Every time you see FXI pop in the past 6 months that we've been doing this, it drops. It pops on the PBOC trying to save capitalism. It pops on rumors of a trade deal. It popped on us getting a trade deal done with Canada, or I'm sorry, Mexico was first, then Canada. And what's it do? Drop, 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 drop. Anybody see the long-term trend here of FXI? Now, when, not if, when the president gets a deal done with China, we're going to get bullish like you read about in Get Bullish magazine. Right? Well, no, and whoever said that, that doesn't happen. What did the president do, 3 days before the election? You see this pop right here out of FXI? This was stupid. This was gross. We've made money on this, too. The president came out and did what? Just got off the phone with President Xi. We're going to get a deal done. Does everybody remember that? He owes me a new computer. I spit the coffee out onto my screen. I'm like, do you know how stupid that looks? First of all, that's physically impossible. Unless Steve Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow, Navarro, and Leitzinger, and Wilbur Ross have all been lying to us, which they could have been. But there's no way in hell all 5 of those men who had been saying, we're not even talking to China right now, was doing it in secret. The president, days before the election, tried to prop up our stock market by saying, I just got off the phone with President Xi. He probably did have a phone call with him, but for him to try and do that was desperate and awful. Now look at this implosion. What did I say Monday in the live trade brief, folks? What did I say if you were aggressive you should do? We looked at 2 trades, didn't we? What did I say if you're aggressive you should do? I said I am really, really, really bearish on FXI. And you're going to learn when you become a member, when I use these 3 words in a row, really, 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 we do a tactic called a bearish double vertical. It is right down here at the 50-day moving average and the middle of what is called a Keltner channel. And if it don't hold here, man, there ain't no, this is a lookout below moment. I think it closes this gap pretty damn quickly. Unless, and again, let me follow my checklist. Let's brief, what are the threats to this trade? Adam, which I closed today, thank you for teaching me that. You got it, man. You're welcome. So, Doug, I said an iron condor, but I said as well what? And a super aggressive trade. I said, if you don't believe me and you're bearish, do a double vertical, right? I did. I said both of those things. So, all right, here we go. I'd almost go at the money here. Let's take a look at a tactical trade because this is the way the market's trading. Let's go out the next Friday on FXI. When this thing implodes, it tends to implode and stay down there. Let's take a look at let's give us a little bit of altitude. Yep, this one. All right, so here we go. Step 1 in my trade plan, strategic mindset. I've been giving you an hour of it. I'm bearish, and we're only supposed to go an hour in accelerated retirement, so we got to get cruising here because I got a 3 o'clock coaching call. I'm bearish. My target is FXI. Everybody should have their trade plan out sitting right next to them because I'm going through the trade plan. Step 3 are commit criteria. I just gave you about 3 to 5 sentences about why I'm bearish on FXI short term. Tactic. The tactic is I'm bearish on FXI. I'm using calls, and this is what we call a spread. This tactic is a bear call spread. Okay? So what am I going to do? I'm going to sell 160. Why 160? Give me 2 minutes, and I'll tell you why 160 contracts. Of next Friday, I just told you why, 41.5 calls. And I just told you why I'm picking that strike. Selling 160 of next Friday's 41.5 calls. What if you're wrong, Wiz? There's the distinct possibility. You're wrong. President Xi and Trump surprise us next Friday with a surprise deal, and this has a rip your face off rally. Well, good. Good for the overall market. But for this trade, I'm hedged because I'm going to buy 160 of the 42 calls. So if it does have a rip your face off rally and turn around, our losses are stopped out right at 42. This is called a spread. It's also, and if you're new to options, you might get that. Hey man, I get it. You're bearish, you're using calls, and it's a spread. It's also called what? A credit spread. You're getting paid to do this. How much? You're getting paid $2,900. Today, if you do this trade, you bring in $2,900. Remember, we love selling stuff. I'm going to tell you why we like selling stuff in a second, but let's take a look at the metrics of this trade, okay? I'm going to click on this tab right here, snapshot analysis, and like I said the other day, I'm going to turn into a Catholic nun. I want you guys to, because I'm going to crack your knuckles if you look anywhere else but where I tell you. I want you to look at the sad face, right? Max potential loss. You ready? Go. 51.20. The max potential loss in this trade is 51.20. What is that based off of? Right here, man. Remember when I said give me 2 minutes? It's based on 160 contracts. Wiz, I don't want to risk $5,100. Don't. I can't tell you what to do anyway. This is what I would be doing. I only want to risk $2,500. All right, genius. Then you do 80 contracts. Wiz, I got a lot of coin. I want to risk 10 grand. Okay, then what's that? 320 contracts, right? This is based not wanting to risk more than 5% of the model portfolios. And the model portfolios, each one is based on a notional $100,000. So last time I checked, that's about 5 grand. Why do I pick that number, folks? I've been doing it for 26 years. I just know based on 100 grand, I don't want to risk 50 grand. Because with my luck, that trade's a loser, and now half my powder is gone. Do not do that. I'm going to teach you at Top Gun Options to come up with your own SOP, standard operating procedures. I have a lot of coaching clients. Some people use 2.5%. Some people are 10. Some people, you got to do what you got to do. We are risking 51.20 in order to make maybe 2,900. That's a pretty nice, what we call risk to reward ratio. And if you look at the probabilities right here, that's using at-the-money volatility. So using at-the-money volatility in FXI options, there's a 61% probability of making $2,900 by next Friday. There's a 29% probability of getting your ass kicked and losing $5,100. There's a 65% probability of at least breaking even. And you know what I forgot to do? Let me grab a screenshot of this. Why? Because I put it in the replay, right? The members replay email, and I post it on the website. Okay. File, save as, FXI. FXI 12.6. Then we'll grab a screenshot of the metrics page. And let me tell you that one of the reasons I like doing credit spreads like this is because we make money 3 out of 4 ways. And you can just stare at the little picture right there. FXI 126 metric. So look at this. This blue line right here is the current price of FXI, the iShares large cap ETF. How do we make money on this trade? Well, you're bearish, Wiz, right? You got it. So FXI can go down. See all this green up here? That green part? That's making money land. FXI goes down, we make money. FXI can stay where it is and just kind of hover around this 50-day moving average. We make money. FXI, ladies and gentlemen, can even go up a little bit and we make money. What? Yeah, as long as it stays below that point right there, which just happens to be what we call the break even. So 3 out of 4 ways this trade makes money. The 1 out of 4 ways it don't make money is that we get a rip your face off rally in FXI between now and next Friday. If you have a bullish case for FXI that it's rallying by next Friday, I want to hear it. Let me know. I just, because folks, I do, trust me, I do a lot of those of you guys who know me, I do this for fun, for sport. I mean, I try and find stuff that proves me wrong. What's the bullish case for a trade on China out the next Friday? I don't see anything. Now, if we're all thinking alike, somebody isn't thinking. I get that. So this is, but, and you know what? Let me grab this so I can blast out a text message to our members. So during our live trade briefs, folks, we send out a text alert in case you're not here. Over 75-80% of our members work and sometimes can't attend these live trade briefs, right? I appreciate you guys keep being here live. But guess what? If you're sitting in death by meeting, you're about to get a text alert from me. Right? Yeah, except accelerated retirement. Those are usually longer dated trades, and we don't do text alerts for AR. But one of the reasons we also like credit spreads, guys, is this. You ready for this? Now, the Fort Lauderdale Ferrari dealer doesn't look like it looks because they give away Ferraris or they give away money. Casinos don't look the way they look because they give away money. They're called what, folks? They're called the house. In a trade like this, it's called a credit spread. We're getting paid. We're selling something. We're selling a bear call spread. When you sell something, what do you enjoy? You enjoy something called theta. It's a Greek in options trading that we call theta. It's called time decay. Now, anybody on this webinar who's ever bought a car knows what time decay is, right? If you ain't the car dealer, if you're the sucker with your midlife crisis buying that Ferrari, what happens? The second you pull out of that parking lot, that $250,000 Ferrari is what? Probably worth 200 grand or less. So if you go down the block and your life partner calls and tells you your midlife crisis is officially over, go take that car back, you do a U-turn and go back into the dealer, I guarantee you they'll buy that car back from you for about 200 grand. So I want you to keep your eyes down here. This is called theta. Remember, we're the house. We're the Ferrari dealer in this case. So as this trade goes forward, every day that goes by, you ready for this? Look at that. We make money. One of the coolest things, or one of the best whiz sentences you're going to hear is this. Anybody hear this word, unchanged? Well, the stock is unchanged for the day. We call it unched. Here's a whizism you need to learn. Unched on the day equals time decay. Unched on the day equals time decay. I was a Phi Delta Theta in college, so that's the Greek symbol theta. You want to be the seller of something, folks. When you buy SDS calls, when you buy something, you don't like theta. Time decay is bad when you buy something. This is why I like selling credit spreads. You make money as time goes by. If FXI just sits here, that's what's funny is people who trade stocks like, oh, I bought this stock and I'm not making money, it's just flat. You can be sitting there as an options trader going, I'm making money and the stock is flat. You're a witch, burn them. No, I'm not. I am getting theta. I am getting time decay. Right? So this is, I love these type of trades. Unched on the day equals time decay. And like I said, we're hovering right on this 50-day moving average on FXI. And look at what FXI has done around the 50-day moving average. Hung, and now we're getting back down to it. This is the bullshit. Yay, Buenos Aires. Boo. I told you, man. Whatever. I'm not going to repeat everything I said. I predicted this. Love when we're right. It's awesome. It's fun. And I love proving the financial media wrong and pointing out usually their stupidity. Okay? So, bear call spread. Selling the 41.5 calls, buying the 42s as a hedge. It's up here at 18 cents now. 18 cents would be nice. Risking 51.20. If we wake up and President Xi surrenders and we own China, you're going to lose $5,100. What are the odds of that happening? 0. What are the odds of something really, really great happening in the China-U.S. negotiations in the next week? 0. Guys, even yesterday with the funeral going on, man, the president's tweeting. He sounds like he's just desperate. This is, I might sound naive, but I believe everything Xi is telling me they're going to do. What are you, an idiot? I thought you were a New York real estate developer and you know how to negotiate. You sound like a high school girlfriend, man. Stop it. So, Michelle, the trade is up on my screen. All right, guys, with AR's only accelerated retirement's only supposed to be an hour, and it's also only supposed to be on Wednesdays. But obviously, we laid President Bush, great American hero, to rest. I love liberals in the media. They love Republicans when they're dead. The same media that called John McCain a Nazi and a homophobe when he ran for president loved him when he died, right? Because he stuck it to Trump. They also love President Bush because he also stuck it to Trump. But they were not friendly to the. Remember the Newsweek cover when Bush was running for president? Overcoming the wimp factor. The dude that wrote that title on Newsweek apologized the other day. You know, the president's dead. A little late, jackwad. Yeah, it makes me furious. Michelle, I just had the trade up on the screen. The trade is right here. It's the 41.5, 42. All right, guys. We're going to do Seymour. In all fairness, Wiz, you love liberals when they're dead. Exactly. That's called bipartisanship, Seymour. You got it, man. Yeah, and we'll talk about Visa tomorrow too. We have a lot to cover, and obviously this is one of the reasons we keep our briefs smaller, because we have a lot of stuff to cover, and I tried to answer a lot of new folks' questions as well, because I don't want to be rude, but you got to join, folks. I saw a lot of great questions and a lot of interest from people who aren't currently members. So this is when you need to get on board. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/getft. It's get full throttle. It's not that hard to explain. Rick, we're going to get long CME next week. I'm done. Tomorrow's my last day of giving away free stuff. We got people here and we're giving away a lot of free trades. You potentially made $2,000 since Tuesday on those SDS calls. We nailed it, guys. I told you Tuesday this market is going lower. On Thursday we're going to implode, and we did it. So, Rick, I'm going to cover Amazon, Raytheon, and hopefully Visa tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, John, my best friend, Kevin McLaughlin, his call sign is Proton. He's leading the 21 plane flyover down in College Station in a couple hours. Very, very good guy. Great American. He's the commander of the Strike Fighter Wing Atlantic Fleet. You know what, Mike? We totally moved that, man. We totally look at this. So Mike was following the open interest. This is Top Gun Options moving the market again, guys. Look at that. Everybody, look at this. The volume on FXI when I started was 1,800 and open interest 205. Look at the volume. Guys, we did that. Was there anybody else in this market that jumped into FXI right now? We just moved the market, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody give yourself a round of applause. If you've never been involved in moving the market, you just did it. If you got into that FXI trade like all my members did, look at this. That was us. A couple of weeks ago, I got an email from a guy, really big dude, used to play football, about some unusual options activity. We've actually, at Top Gun Options, guys, we've actually hit some people's unusual options activity scanner. And it ain't unusual because we're smart and we know what we're doing. All right, guys, full throttle max. Annual is the place to be. If you want to do most of what we do in weekly options, do offensive. If you're not ready for weekly options for whatever reason, do defensive. $19.95, $24.95, or $29.95 for a year. Those are the annual subscriptions. If you want to do monthly, if you want to kick the tires, not the way I do it, because you're spending a little bit more money each month that goes by before you upgrade into an annual, but knock yourself out. I'm a businessman. You can do it for 12 months and then upgrade into your annual. John, could you please bring some Florida weather on your trip up here to Philly? No, man. Last year, I loved it. It was epic, John. You remember last year the Army Navy game last year was it was historical. The snow, and Army was wearing what? It was wearing winter camouflage. That was one of the coolest experiences of my life. So no, man, I want it to be cold, man. I want it to be freezing. So I'm not. I'm leaving that down here. Yeah, it was it's funny. So, all right, guys, like I said, my phone was buzzing throughout the webinar, which means people have been grabbing their slots. Tomorrow, we're going to get airborne with or without you. Next week, we are going to add CME to our list of longs because the trading volume that we're currently seeing in all these big houses is going through the roof. It's absolutely, those guys have got to be printing money. I know I usually don't send out text alerts for AR, but since we didn't do it yesterday, I'll tell you what, I'll send out this FXI trade in a text right now. Okay, so let me get going. I'll have the replay posted on the member page, I don't know, in about 30 minutes. And I'll also have it posted on this page for all the folks that are in here kicking the tires and getting stuff for free. I'm going to post what we just did on this page right here as well. And if you want to grab a slot, you can click on this green button. All it does is just take you to that page right here. Okay? So have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. I'll see many of you tomorrow for our final full throttle live trading session, and that's going to be analyze your trade and debrief. So God bless, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And welcome aboard to all the folks that grabbed your slots today. We'll see you.